Well, that's a great start. Yo, what's good? It's Fox in super impromptu video. Like, I just got an idea to do this, because, God, I don't know why, but I just felt like doing this. My voice sounds awful. Please bear with me there. I have just recently recovered from being quite sick, so my voice still isn't there, but hopefully that's not the biggest distraction there. But basically, I don't even know if I've ever uploaded or streamed anything related to Overwatch, but at one point I was really into Overwatch. Recently I've been getting back to it and I think it's quite fun, and I'm actually quite excited for Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 brought a lot of changes and a lot of like reworks on characters that I felt like were not very intuitive or fun to play as or play against in Overwatch 1, like Symmetra, Bastion, and the reworks, I feel like they did a great job with them. Same with like Orisa and Doom. But there's one character that I feel like really should get a rework, and I wanted to talk about that. I'll try to keep this brief and not go on for like 30 minutes, as usual I do with this stuff. But yeah, really low effort. I don't use Reddit much. I just felt like sharing my idea on this, so I just did. And it also helps me for the sake of this, because I have something tangible that I can talk about. So basically, first thing is just, I think Symmetra should be a support. I think it made sense, although she was pretty ass in the very beginning. I can't talk, of Overwatch. But there was like not many things about her that were fun and engaging. I think the Symmetra now is much more fun and has more personality than the original Symmetra had, but I feel like there's still a lot to improve on, and I feel like obviously there are people that definitely like her as she is, but I still feel like she has one of the less interesting and less good kits as well in Overwatch, and I think that there's a lot of potential there. And the main thing that sparked this was some of you probably remember and know, like a little while ago on Experimental, they actually changed it so that Symmetra's turrets healed her teammates, and I thought this was actually really cool. And like a big complaint that people have had with Overwatch is like the lack of new supports, or just the lack of supports overall. There's not that many, and you could make an argument for tanks as well, but obviously like Doom is getting shifted into tank form now, which is cool. I think that's nice. I think Doom can be cool, but he can also feel really frustrating to play against. I think he still needs tweaking. I've heard that he's quite weak. I haven't personally had the pleasure of playing Overwatch 2 yet. Hopefully the beta changes that, but we'll see. But yeah, I think the turret's healing dynamic actually is very good, and to save video length and to also conserve my voice and to just not use my brain, I'll actually just read right from here like what I said. So I think obviously it would make more tuning than just changing the turrets to heal instead of damaging to make her good at support, but I think that's a great way to start. And I do think that both the teleport and the ult could remain mostly the same. Well, and I think like the ult is already good in team fights and can be like really disruptive. And in Overwatch 2, since it's switching to 5v5 with only one tank, there is no double shield unless you count Brig with her 250 shield, which I don't think you should. So yeah, that also I think gives more like opportunity for her shield to be more impactful on a fight. And I definitely think like overall her kit is just already, it's very loaded with utility which feels kind of weird for DPS. It's kind of cool, but also there's a lot of DPS heroes, and I think that something like this could very easily be shifted into support and still be much more fun. And the teleporter gives mobility to a team, and let's, like, for example, right now it's like very common to be used on Hanamura first point to get through the choke, and also a healer kit where like she would place her turrets and the turrets would be healing. Obviously, if you only put them in combat, they can be destroyed, and that way the healing will be much less consistent. But she could sort of set these like healing spots somewhere where she could set the turrets, and then when you need healing, if it's not like super urgent, obviously, because then you're probably just dead, which is the biggest problem that this will probably face, would be you just go there and the turrets would heal a good amount. Like, obviously being stationary and being able to be destroyed means that they should be very strong when they get to heal, actually. And the teleporter, I think, functions really well in this. I do think it should get more charges, because I think the dynamic of using it two ways doesn't get used much at all currently. It gets used, but it's much rarer, and I think it's a cool aspect of the teleporter. So this way you could basically just port into a fight or into the action, and then when you start getting low, you could actually port out close to the healing spot, and because the turrets heal you really quickly, if there are multiple ones, they obviously stack as well, you could really quickly then re-engage once again with the teleporter. I think that would make for a really cool and great dynamic. That would also make playing with a Symmetra, actually, you want to think about things, and I think it makes for really engaging and interesting gameplay. And having charges on the turrets, as well as like being able to deploy them from range, means that the healing wouldn't be as bad and as inconsistent than the main argument in a very mobile game like Overwatch is probably for something like this. But also, like, having access to multiple ones means that she could have a healing spot, and she could also have like just a very simple way would just be like, okay, you have a healing room with two turrets, and then you keep one that you can keep redeploying when you're in a fight and you just need quick healing. I also think, I don't think I listed it here, but like some things that I think the turret should be deployed much quicker, and I also think they should be have more HP, and they should definitely be like on the upper echelon of how much they heal. I think like Mercy heals like 50 or 55 per second, Moira heals 70 to 80 depending on whether she's moving forward or just standing still. But I can't remember, but like I definitely think like she should have, like, when you just compare these heal per second value, she probably should be up there, obviously. All the numbers, I also said it here, all the numbers, grain of salt. I'm no game developer, these are just ideas, and I just wanted to put some numbers that in context I think make some sense. I wanted to put some numbers behind them just to make them feel more tangible and understandable. But yeah, I overall just think like the turret's healing would make for her like quite unique. Kind of like, you know, Lucio just exists and gives a little bit of healing around him. Same thing with like Brigitte. And then you have like, you don't have a character like this basically, where you have a dedicated spot for healing. Well, I mean, Soldier, I guess, but you could also like use them, like I said, in fights, but you could also have the dynamic with the teleporter, which would also make you utilize the two-way aspect of it more, which I just think all of these things would make more Symmetra's kit more like interesting and engaging. And as for the left click and right click, I think left click as is is fine. I like the idea of it like sort of being a shield counter. Also, it's not a very good shield counter since you need to be very close, but I kind of like the idea of it just like, okay, you get ammo back if you hit shields, so you can also use shields to make it stronger. But I think it should have like a Moira-like interaction where you basically, by hitting your left click, you would, the initial idea was it only if you hit shields, but obviously then if you're playing against a diva, a hog, you then wouldn't get to use your right click at all, which I don't think is... I think having characters that work in niche scenarios very well is fine and actually good for a game like Overwatch, but I think that would make it maybe too niche, but once again, not a game developer. But basically just like hitting left click gives you charge, and maybe you could still like have the damage boosting aspect of it. Like, I think some supports dealing more damage is perfectly fine. I still like the damage, probably still might need some tweaking. Whether or not it does though, that completely depends, because obviously losing turrets damaging is a big thing. Losing the current right click would be a big thing, so that's an aspect that I'm not perfectly sure about. But I think it could charge your right click basically, and what your right click would do, it would just be, you would basically, if you'll remember the very old Symmetra with shield generator and not shield generator, was it? No, teleporter was the original ult for sure. Yeah, had the, I think it was on her shift. It was on her shift RE, where she just basically gave permanent shields. She just round start, she just pop. Okay, now her team all have permanent 25 shield. It would be quite similar, but instead it would just immediately give them 100 over health or over shield, whatever Overwatch do, because it's the green additional health bar that they're using for everything excess now. If you're missing health, then it would just restore that health as a 100 burst, which is quite good in a fight. And then if you're already like at full life, it would just make you tankier temporarily. This wouldn't be permanent. It would be insane if it gave you permanent 100 HP, or once again, like numbers, grain of salt, but or whatever. But I think that is definitely too strong. But I think like something like this and utilizing the overheal, overshield more would also make sense for Symmetra. But that's another case where it's like, how much would the cooldown be? Because just spamming the right click as long as you keep charge up with your left click obviously would be much stronger than just Moira healing. But maybe that's just me ignoring some aspects or not thinking them enough. But basically this is all just like, once again, it's like all just my random vision that I just got. Because like when I was going through a video that went over basically all the changes, I like basically every single change I really liked, and I felt like almost everyone who I think needed to be changed got changed, although Widow didn't need the 25 HP. Also, I think I would like Venom Mine to do less damage, but give her walls or something, so she more utilized the, okay, now they're gonna peek, and now I'm gonna shoot them with a sniper rifle, but you know, that's small things. Also, buff Genji. But overall, I just think Symmetra right now, once again, I'm sure there are people that enjoy playing her as she now is, and she isn't super bad, she's fine in some spots, but I just feel like for the most part her kit is quite uninteresting, and I feel like by doing changes similar to this and just pushing her more towards that utility, like more towards the support role, I think would make her kit have more engaging gameplay and more personality, and I feel like it would fit her better, while also giving us another support hero that isn't the same as the other support heroes as well, which I think are all would be really welcome changes. But it's just an idea that I had. I just felt like sharing this, so hey, I did. But please let me know, what do you think of this? Do you think there's another way that she should be changed? Do you want her to be a support, or do you want her to be DPS? I do think that the idea of Tetera's healing is actually really cool if it can be done correctly. I think it's sick, and I definitely hope that they explore that side of things, but we shall see. And another thing is, like, do you have other heroes that you think should get a rework or should get like major changes? Because I think like most of the things that I was thinking about basically got checked. Torbjorn, maybe, but other than that, yeah, buff Genji. Anyways, this was my idea of a Symmetra rework, and whether you agree or disagree, please let me know. And I will upload whenever I upload the next time, because, school, I'm doing teaching practice right now, and even without anything like that, my schedule is always inconsistent, because I don't have ideas. But, you should still subscribe if you want to see me in a week, 2 years, whatever it may be, when I upload next time. Anyways, I'm definitely gonna be... I might stream Overwatch even on my Twitch. Overwatch 2 for sure, I'm actually quite excited. But that's another where no consistency, you just follow me if you feel like it. If you don't, that's perfectly fine, hey. But yeah, please let me know what you think, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time, and peace.